Hello, you magnificent nerds of the world! Taurock at your service, and welcome back to another Death Battle reaction video. Lex Luthor versus Dr. Doom, Green Masters of Science, both men who have walked among gods, champions of humanity, or so they want you to believe. Also DC versus Marvel! Yay! There's been a lot of them recently. Remember when it all started in 2012 with Batman vs. Spider-Man? At first it wasn't that much of a big deal. I mean, there was like a few of them, there was like 2 in season 1, but they really started to pop up second half of season 2, where we begin to see more and more DC vs. Marvel matchups, or straight up matchups that has or DC or Marvel, which you could say rose more and more eyebrows, basically. Like Marvel and DC, they're the only franchise in Death Battle to have had 2 representations in a row. Like sometimes we have a Marvel versus DC fight, and then again we have DC or Marvel versus something else, like right in the next episode. Or we have DC or Marvel versus something, and then right after we have Marvel versus DC. And it happened multiple times in Death Battle. And where it was felt the most was, of course, in Season 7, where out of 20 episodes, only 11 of them were non-DC or Marvel related. Which, yes, is still a majority, but it still meant almost half the season was dedicated to the DC and Marvel universe. So it became kind of a cliche in the fandom. So imagine the people's reaction when it's not only a DC versus Marvel fight, but it's also one that features 2 combatants who have already been in Death Battle before, and a matchup that people have already decided it would be one of those stomp episodes. Yeah, I said people would complain last time, and oh boy they did! Boy oh boy they did! They took it so personally, it's ridiculous. Like, I thought Shadow vs. Ryuko had a harsh critique before when it was announced. But damn! The amount of rants, of spiteful comments, of everything, like, take a chill pill. It's not the end of the season. We have, like, many more episodes to go. Like, we can agree, you can think that there was more intriguing matchups for Dr. Doom or Lex Luthor, which is, like, I can hear this. But remember, if this episode was picked by the Death Battle team, it's because it was requested in the first place. Like, it's been discussed many times. You can find many debate video on YouTube when it comes to versus debates. Granted, they rarely give the benefit of the doubt to Lex, and they all agree that Doom would win, but it's still there. You can still see people discussing this matchup. Plus, if DC versus Marvel happens a lot, it's also kind of because they're popular. It's a highly popular rivalry in pop culture in general, and we keep requesting even lots and lots of more ideas. Apparently, like, they have great results every time they pop up, so if Marvel versus DC happens a lot, that's on us. That's on us. We're the only responsible. If you don't like this matchup, well, blame the community, not Death Battle itself. You do whatever you do, actually. I don't really care. Just be nice. Just be civilized about it. Like, no need to throw a hissy fit. Like, anyway, that was my little overview of what the expectation of this match was. Now, for how I know these characters, well, from Death Battle, actually. Like, I was never into DC or Marvel before I started watching Death Battle. I vaguely remember that I kinda liked playing Lex Luthor in Injustice, and that's it. Like, I haven't been familiar with the full extent of his character until Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor. I remember actually rooting for Lex back in the day, so, you know, I like him, he's a cool character. And when it comes to Doom, I'm even more clueless. Like, I remember, like, I've watched the Fantastic Four movies when I was a kid, and I completely forgot he was actually a character in it. Like, that's how clueless I was. But now, with Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor and Darth Vader vs. Doctor Doom, I got to know them a bit more. I got to explore their characters and their universe a bit more than that. So I've gathered some knowledge about these characters. I'm still like very casual when it comes to my actual knowledge about DC and Marvel, but you know, it's things you pick up. After all those DC and Marvel matchups, you pick up some things. When it comes to who's gonna win, Doom. It's Doom. Yeah. Like, despite everyone being a dick about it, we still know it's gonna be Doom. Like, if we complain that it's a stomp, that's because in some way it might be. But remember, last time we saw those characters, that was like almost 6 years ago. All the more time to have new media, new feats, and all sorts of new crazy shits. Like, for example, no one told me, I had to look it up on my own, but apparently Lex Luthor has a god form. Yep, it's called Apex Predator Lex. And he got this when combining his DNA with Martian Manhunter and some nth metal or something like that, from what I know. So yeah, that's a new thing. I don't know if they're gonna mention it, if it's canon or something. But see, that's a new stuff that could be brought to the table and give Lex the benefit of the doubt. Plus, like, we're talking about a guy who fought like powerful combatants, like Superman, obviously, but you know, he's designed for this. But he also tangled with like Wonder Woman, The Flash, or even Larfleeze, the Orange Lantern. By the way, Larfleeze, he's my favorite lantern. Basically, Larfleeze, he's the leader of the Orange Corps, which represents greed or avarice. But he's just so greedy, he doesn't want to share the power, so he just makes up his entire army. I like it, it's clever. So yeah, Lex is a big deal. I've seen a lot of people underestimating him, but again, there's also new stuff about Doctor Doom that I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna bring for example, I think it was like God Doom? God Emperor Doom? Who was in the top 10 most OP comic book characters of all time by Screw Attack. So, I don't know. I'm still voting Doom because of popular choice. You know, everyone's voting Doom, and they probably know a bit more about Doom and Lex than me. So, when it comes to versus debating, plus like you don't fuck with Doom. Doom is insanely powerful too. Like he's the guy that matches. I think he matches like the Silver Surfer or something. I think didn't he battled like Galactus or some shit? I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did eventually. Like his armor can withstand reality warping attacks, like the Infinity Gauntlet. Like he tanked a punch from the Infinity Gauntlet, worn by Thanos. So yeah, I don't really know how Lex gonna top that, but we'll see. Anyway, this intro is being way too long. Again, I know. So we're just gonna watch the show. Doctor Doom's gonna win. The battle will be epic. We'll see what's next on Death Battle, and be done with it. Let's go! Mr. Luthor, your meme is an invaluable resource for the people of Latveria. I will be seizing it. Oh my god. You know, nobody cares that you saved the image. Pew! Go!
Lex Luthor, CEO of LexCorp and nemesis to Superman.
And Dr. Doom, King of Latveria and Doom of the Fantastic Four.
The intellect of
Get it?
these
'Cause
two
Doom.
evildoers is unmatched in their own worlds.
But what happens when the geniuses of these spiteful nerds collide? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Let's go.
In the city of Metropolis, soaring above all other structures, one can find atop the tallest building an L.
Who's the dickbag that decided to literally hang that L over everyone's head? Just the one and only Lex Luthor.
Born and raised in Smallville, Kansas, Lex's early life was
The sound editing
His
is
father,
exceptional.
Michael, was a scientist doing dubious.
Doesn't wash his hand because
Why
he's
does that-
evil.
When the lid was cracked on this evil science operation,
You're gonna wash your
gases
hand?
had to be covered. So Lex
Sexy
and Goldman
Lexi?
got a convenient memory wipe, reducing Lionel to an alcoholic and setting Lex down a path to get away from his deadbeat dad. Right
Who
now,
calls him
your
Sexy
brother-
Lexi?
But because
That's a
it's
question.
Comics, that's just Lex's story in one continuity.
In another, he's a mad scientist. In another, he's a self-made billionaire. And in yet another, he was friends with Superboy until Superboy made him bald. No wonder this guy's so cynical.
Regardless of which Lex we're talking about, he hates Superman. In his eyes, if Superman continues to exist, humanity will become weak and reliant on him, and ultimately perish.
That's an interesting motivation.
Ever since Soups flew into town, he's
Like,
been
that's the thing that got me
But also
to
his
like
driving force
Lex
in creating
Luthor when it
technology,
was
chief among them being his war suit.
This bad boy comes equipped with loads of goodies. A force field, electroblasts, missiles, a chest laser, and wrist blades for all your Batman shanking needs.
Lex has utilized many different energy sources for his suits, but his newest and greatest is the Mother Box, a nigh inexhaustible piece of new god technology with which Lex can create energy beams, repair his suit, and teleport via quantum flow.
Damn.
suit can
The sound
survive
editing
its
again.
loading and lets old
Like,
Lex
what-
go toe-to-toe with Superman himself.
Well, it is questionable if his suit is directly comparable to Superman going all out, especially with his reliance on kryptonite. But Lex has used it to fight with other DC powerhouses.
Yep, like Doomsday.
this Orange Bugman Larfleeze. who's
Hey,
basically
Larfleeze.
a one-man Lantern Corps. You know, that band of green boot stompers who can cross the universe in under an
Green
hour.
boots stompers.
DC has a
We know
universe at least
we know that
100
you know that
kilometers
we know.
across. This would require a speed over 5 quintillion times the speed of light.
Or how about the time Green Lantern Kyle Rayner held back the big frickin' bang?
Much of Lex's tech is relegated to the war suit, but he does have on-hand gadgets too, such as a heat ray, robot replicas called Lexbots,
Ah.
and a special barrier that temporarily...
Ah, he's got Lexbots. The same thing as Doombots.
2D, huh? That sounds like a weeb's wet dream. How does that work?
It's rather simple, actually. By applying higher dimensional physics to a simple 2D grid, we can replicate and place the form of a 3-dimensional object into a lower, flattened form that...
Make it stop! Make it stop! Wow, I knew the old squirrel diet was a good idea.
I thought he was gonna turn into like
Not
Chad
all
James
conventional. Sure, he's had
into live action.
But after Soups died, not when he punched the gray guy when he blew up this punk Denny, he gained a newfound respect for the Man of Steel and took up his mantle. Maybe he isn't the bald psycho everyone thinks he is.
Doubtful. Lex's actions, both good and bad, tend to stem from one thing. He really wants to be Superman himself.
He jelly. It would explain why he made the Everyman Project, an experiment meant to turn normies into superhumans.
Unfortunately,
Oh, yeah,
Lex's
the
genes
meta-
were not
the meta-human.
compatible. He still went through the procedure, but even after some voluntary organ harvesting, he only had 6 months to live.
Oh,
Wow, Lex really does want to be Superman, even if it kills him.
But if Lex can't be Superman, he might as well make himself the one person that super citizen has to answer to. Which is why Lex decided to, what else, run for president.
Can you imagine a president who's an evil billionaire and hates aliens? So unrealistic.
Lex
I wanted to make this joke.
Became all the worse when he learned he could neither be nor control Superman. Take, for example, the time he made a cure for his sister's terminal illness.
Well, that doesn't seem so bad.
And then reinfected her with that same illness seconds later, just to prove he could.
What?
Jesus Christ! Never mind, he's evil. Why would anyone work for this guy?
Lex's outlook on life actually gained a big following. After traveling millions of years into the future, because comics, Lex saw a world where his goals became reality.
Oh.
Where people quit aspiring to the impossible standards of superheroes, instead embracing who they were deep down. Selfish and greedy animals.
So he literally inspired a philosophy around being the opposite of Superman.
Yeah.
Apparently. Isn't it ironic, though, that even those who chose to follow Lex's ideals called this philosophy Doom?
Huh. His Lutheran was already
Seriously?
Anyways, his fanboy
Seriously, this is Dr. Doom!
But to Lex, his ideals are everything. And to his credit, they have seen him through some pretty heavy stuff.
Like outsmarting Brainiac, getting tortured by Joker.
And getting shot out of a helicopter by a gorilla. Don't worry, somehow he got better.
Even completely stripped of everything, standing before an almighty God, Lex Luthor will continue to defend his ideals. This harbinger of doom is truly beyond comprehension. Or so he says.
Who is it, Superman? Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Okay, Doom. Lex is 100% Doom!
Syria appears to be a humble nation located in the center of Europe, but within its borders may be the greatest threat the world has ever known.
That threat being the malevolent king, Dr.
Oh, and no Apex
Did not
Predator.
start out as a king. Born as a Romani, Victor Von
So,
Doom had
never mind
a
what I said
tumultuous
about the
childhood.
Apex
After his mother's soul
the
was
Apex
taken by the
Predator.
demon Mephisto,
I
and his
don't
father
really
died
know
of a
much about
Baron, Doom did
what
any
happens
mad
with this.
scientist would do, and began making inventions.
Like his
Feel
own
free to,
robot
if you know, feel free to correct me in the comments.
That
Or
sounds
to
familiar.
explain what the
The
deal with this
technical
was.
wonders he made, while also
Really
saving
hate
people,
squirrels.
was so great, the Empire State University offered
Because
him a
of Squirrel
scholarship.
Girl.
And so began a good old college try by Doom.
There, Doom built a device to communicate with his mother in the underworld. But because of a miscalculation that may or may not be thanks to the thing, it blew up in his face. Literally.
It's okay though. After the explosion gave him a nasty scar, Doom ventured to Tibet, where some monks did him a solid and helped him build a suit of armor.
That's a bit of an overreaction.
Science and mysticism.
Oh, I got
Titanium
a scar on my
beyond the
face, so
wonders
I'm
of
gonna
modern
exile
technology
myself.
into the absurd.
It's the Swiss Army knife of power armors, complete with electrical blast, a device that scrambles brain neurons, and a laser staff that doubles as a technovirus.
At full power, the suit can break through an adamantine coffin, and allegedly contains pieces of the cross that Jesus Christ himself was crucified on.
Just in case a pesky Dracula comes your way. Which he did. With this suit, Doom easily conquered Latveria and overthrew the Baron who gave him so much trouble years back. Aha! Take that, asshole!
Seeing how prosperous his rule was, Doom thought if he could make Latveria better by conquering it, why not make the whole world better by conquering it?
Well, I mean, a Panther God did say he should. Too bad he was always stopped by the Fantastic Four.
And their leader, Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic.
To put it lightly, Doom freaking hates him. One time, when Doom was being pulled into hell, rather than try to escape eternal torment, all he wanted to do was burn and scar Reed's face.
To Doom, Reed Richards is a man of unquenchable vanity and unmitigated arrogance, consumed by his own ego at the cost of everyone around him.
Yeah, I think Doom might
Yes!
be projecting a bit.
Fool! Dr. Doom toots as he pleases!
The world, Doom certainly has the arsenal to do so.
Antimatter guns, bombs that transmute things to chrome, a molecular expander that turns tiny particles into boulders, and
I remember
time-shift
this.
bombs that'll send you several seconds into the past.
But
What?
his most interesting gadget is the Cosmic Power Siphon. While not particularly fashionable, at least before he implemented it into his suit, the siphon has absorbed and stolen the powers of numerous cosmic entities.
You
Oh.
might be asking, if Doom has all these gadgets, why doesn't he use them more often? Well, in his own words, Doom's reasons are his own. Do not question them.
But Doom is more than just a scientist. He's also a magician. In fact, a contender for Sorcerer Supreme. As such, he can employ all manner of magic spells, barriers, teleportation, mystical energy blasts, etc.
And if he ever wants to Freaky Friday a foe, he can use a mind swap.
Mind
technique
transfer?
from the ovoids
No,
to
no,
switch
don't do this!
Like this.
Oh no!
Oh, how do you walk with these scrawny legs? This one is.
And Wiz is.
Why are there 6 of you? Am I drunk? Dummy! Change us back.
It should come as no surprise that a multi-classing nerd like Doom has taken on some
Silver
of Marvel's
Surfer, see?
toughest heroes.
He defeated
He's
him.
faster than Reed Richards, who reacted to interstellar beams.
The
fired
God
by
Emperor
galactus,
Doom,
And
yes.
has even deflected Thor's hammer.
The same
Damn!
that flew Thor across the universe in seconds.
Knowing Marvel's universe has a diameter of at least 1 trillion light years, Mjolnir must have been moving over 2 quintillion times the speed of light.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not even get
Lex
to
seems
Doom's battle
faster.
with The Green Universe clapper, the Hulk.
Or the no-holds-barred punch he took from Sentry with only 7% of his suit's power left.
With so
Sentry?
much tech and magic, it's a wonder Doom ever loses.
Well, for all his achievements, Doom does have one insurmountable weakness.
His hubris.
Squirrels.
Ah.
Nobody's a match for those little bastards but me. But hey, as long as he stays on Bucktooth's good side, he should be alright.
He also has a bad habit of just losing godlike power at the worst of times.
Like when his control over the Power Cosmic was taken by a plot-convenient cosmic energy-stealing super airplane.
Still, Doom
An airplane- what?
persevered and became the god emperor of everything. Until Mr. Fantastic stole his powers away.
Oh boy, if Doom already hated Reed, what did he think of him after that?
Surprisingly, Doom's time as a god caused an epiphany of sorts. He looked back on his actions, his ego finally shattered, and in his reflection was left with a desire to fix his ways.
So he took up the role of Iron Man of all people.
What?
Not being so world-conquery and became a good guy.
Just for a little bit, don't worry, he was back to being a maniacal would-be conqueror soon enough.
Yeah.
Comic book status quo.
It
Comic
seems
books
a
are gonna
literal
comic books.
multiverse-scale intervention couldn't keep Doom from being Doom.
Your plan to destroy
But
them
has failed, Master. Failed. Dr. Doom does not fail. They knew this scene was too badass to not implement at the end.
Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data
For all possibilities,
It's
time for a death battle! Pause. Pause. Okay. Okay. Why does this matchup doesn't make sense? How does this matchup doesn't make sense? Lex is 100%. It's 100% Doom's story. It's Dr. Doom's story. What the fuck? Okay, I'm sure Lex has the advantage when it comes to be fast. Again, that's one of the only stats where I'm certain a character is, faster than the other. Because, like, they mentioned how Lex faced large fleas and all, and the speed of a lantern. And they said, like, the universe was bigger in scale. And when they compared to... And they gave the math on Dr. Doom. They gave the math on Dr. Doom, but not on Lex, as far as I know. So there's that advantage, for sure. Doom seems to have more versatility when it comes to Arsenal, because at least I'm no good versus analyzer, but when it comes to at least abilities, see how they work. I can think of how both characters' abilities can clash, win over the other, or counter each other, or something like that. So when it comes to versatility, I'll give it to Doom. Speed, I'll give it to Lex. Durability and power output is is the most important. Doom seems to be the one who has more experience with taking hits or dealing reality warping effects, like universal scale powers, you know. So that seems to be, that's interesting. That's way less of a thinking about this here. Like now that everything is on the table. Now that everything's on the table, it's more interesting than anyone thought it would be. That was to be expected because everyone made it into a huge deal. Like, oh, this is such a stomp, everywhere, but they never explained really why. But enough about the community. I'll still have to give it to Doom, but again, Lex is surprising. Lex is full of surprise, is what I'm trying to say. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Dr. Doom. This is gonna be my final verdict. Because of popular belief, because of what I saw, because of the episode, they didn't give the apex predator as I thought it would be. It would be that, but my God, that philosophy of Doom, that philosophy of Doom with Lex, I was like, this is Doom. they completely stole Doom. With like, oh, I saw the future where everything is good in society. Anyway, Doom, it's gonna be Doom for me. Now, let's go for the fight in 3, 2, 1, fight!
Oh, a visitor?
Mr. Luthor, your company has invaluable resources for the people of Latveria. I will be seizing them.
Latveria? What an exquisite place to start a corporatocracy.
Fight!
You wretch!
You wretch! Ooh! The war suit!
A mechanical replica.
It's called a Lex bot, you knuckle-dragging buffoon.
Its design is rather ingenious. Not as ingenious as mine, of course. But enough talk. Let us end these charades.
With pleasure.
Let's go! Hoo! Martial arts! Hoo! Whoa!
Confounded contraption!
What the fuck?
Two-dimensional morphographic technology. I haven't perfected it, but it's more than enough to exterminate
I like how-
a child like you.
I like how it's Iron Man's sprites on Lex. Oh shit!
To exterminate an imbecile like you. What?
Fool! You fell for my time shift bomb! Now, foot dive!
Foot dive! Yes! Foot dive! Ooh! Foot dive! Foot dive! Ooh! The rocks! Ooh!
Got you! What a farce!
He
Impossible!
can regenerate his suit!
Impossible. That word has no meaning for someone like me. What about you?
Ooh! 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 3%. It's not over!
Marvelous and wasted on your incompetence.
Ooh! Charged! Yes! Bitch slap! No. Not beach slap.
Pitiful. What kind of a man are you?
Oh no. Oh! What? He's got Superman! Ooh! Ooh! Oh shit! Ooh! He's got the it's the super from ooh!
Still hiding behind this hideous mask, Tin Man? Let's show your true face the light of day!
Never! Oh! He switched body!
That mask is my true face.
Ooh! Ooh! Sweet! Ooh! Slashed in 5! And the whole tower!
This power, it's like that of the gods. Beneath me.
Yes!
I've heard of handing someone the L, but never pinning him to it.
Having a slight speed advantage and a stronger suit by most measures,
The advantage
Lex
at
was
speed.
able to hold his own with Doom for a time.
And sure, Lex could counter some of Doom's arsenal, but he couldn't defend against being transmuted to chrome, being blasted with antimatter, or getting his nerves scrambled from the inside.
What's more, Lex's mind has been swapped before, once with Superman, funnily enough.
Meaning if things got desperate, there was nothing to stop Doom from pulling a Captain Ginyu on Lex and swapping their minds.
Lex's mother box was certainly a powerful device, but he never quite mastered all of its potential. Not to mention, Doom's ace in the hole, the cosmic power siphon, has drained and stolen similar energy sources time and time again.
Yes.
Galactus, Silver Surfer, and even the friggin' Beyonder. Yeah, I know
Even the
this
Beyonder?
doofus doesn't look like much, but he apparently has millions of times the power of the entire Marvel multiverse. And the siphon took all of it. There's no way the Mother Box could stand up to a device like that.
Thus, it was only a question of if Doom could bide his time before turning the tables on Lex.
And given all the beatdowns he's survived from Marvel heavy hitters like Hulk and Sentry, I'd say Doom had that time.
Lex's tech was an impressive challenge that had the stats to contend with Doom. But against Doom's bewildering gadgets, magical trickery, and power-stealing siphon, the advantage
The
was
power-stealing siphon is something I didn't...
Very acclaimed his victory. Hopefully Lex isn't a sore Luthor.
Oh.
The winner is Dr. Doom.
Yes! Second win!
Thanks for watching
Great!
this episode of Death Battle.
Now next time on Death Battle!
If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes right around here, and you can always pick up some DB merch at store.roosterteeth.com.
Next time! Oh! Oh! Heihachi versus Geese! Oh! That's an interesting matchup! Alright! Okay! My god, this fight... I didn't pick, I couldn't pick, what Doom and Lex were saying during the fight. I'll have to check that back. The sound editing was fine, was good, but when it comes to the voices, I don't know, maybe there was a problem with me, but I couldn't hear them very well. So I don't know if it's my problem. I don't know if it's on me or if it's an honest mistake. But like, it was really good. The animation and when it comes to like destruction and stuff, it didn't go as wild as I expected it would be, but it's still like really good. I like how Lex Luthor's sprite was just Iron Man recolored. It was Iron Man's. I recognized that it was Iron Man's sprites from. I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't know which one. It's a Marvel vs. Capcom game. And I kinda like it. I think it's funny. It's not as it's not my favorite war suit because like there's different depiction of how the war suit looks like. You know, there's the classic war suit when he's when the suit is kind of slick. You know, it looks like Iron Man. So that's why they went this direction. And when there's the interpretation where the war suit is extremely like bulky, like it was in Injustice in Iron Man versus Lex Luthor, when it was just like almost a mech. See what I mean? Almost a Hulkbuster, and that's this version of the war suit that I kind of like. But aside from design perspective, like that was really good. And next time, I really didn't expect this one. Heihachi from Tekken versus Geese Howard from King of Fighters? Yes. Ah, that's a matchup. That's a matchup I've heard of for a long time now. Ooh, that's I'm gonna like it. I think everyone is going to like this one. Ooh, I can't help but feel all giddy. I'm excited. Anyway, I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, or maybe earlier. If you enjoy these reactions, leave a like, share it to your friends and families and all stuff, and have a wonderful day. That was Taurock at your service. Peace! Somebody once told me the world is for the taking. He was the sharpest tool in the shed. He was looking kinda dumb with his tower and his roof in the shape of an L on his city. That's it. That's the joke.